So the Waterford Camogie team will take on a virtual run to Croke Park on Saturday. And to tell us all about it, delighted to be joined on the line by Daisha and Lismore midfielder Shona Curran. And Shona, I believe yourself and your teammate Iona Heffernan are the brains behind this. Can you explain what's happening on Saturday?
I don't know what would we admit to being the brains now at all, but I suppose, look, there's a finance committee, as part of the county board, and myself and Iona are the player representatives on it this year, and this was a great idea and an initiative, that the whole committee kind of came up with around Christmas there, and look, unfortunately, with restrictions and everything, and fundraising is it's never an easy job, but I suppose COVID has made it 10 times harder, and as I said, this is a great idea that the committee came up with, and I suppose everyone's really got on board, both from the players' point of view, the senior squad, and as well as that, a lot of the underage squads have been fantastic in supporting it, and just the support, I suppose, from the general public, with donations really has blown us away, and I suppose we're very lucky in Waterford to have such a great backing, and great support, and we're really appreciative of all the donations. So thankfully it's been a great success for us so far, and we just have the small matter of doing the run now ourselves on Saturday. So will all the players be hitting the road on Saturday, showing it to do their bit? Yeah, that's right. I suppose, look, we were hoping that we'd be able to do when we initially came up with it, that we'd run it on the Greenway, but obviously with 5k restrictions that won't be possible. So everyone is just going to do it within their own 5k, and it'll all be clocked up. And we also have some of the underage county players on board with it as well. So you're going to see anyone that's out and about on Saturday. We'll probably come across a few of us, and that's the idea. And we're just encouraging everyone, I suppose, to get out, whether it's run or walk or cycle, 5k, just for the cause, and obviously all within your 5 kilometre restrictions. But just to get out, and I suppose we're lucky the weather at the minute. Hopefully that'll stick for a Saturday. So as I said, just encouraging everyone just to get out and about and support the cause. Yeah, fingers crossed in terms of the weather forecast, Sean. It's been a bit up and down this week. Can you tell us how much has been raised so far on the GoFundMe page? Yeah, I think at the time I'm talking to you now, Tomas, we just hit the 12k, which is absolutely fantastic. I suppose we set a target of 10 there when we initially came up with the fundraiser, and I think about 2 weeks before the event, we had the 10,000 raised. So really blown away by the support, and from Tallow and Ballyduff up or right down to the other side of the county, and in Galtier and Ferrybank, there's just been massive support, and we can't thank people enough for that. Whatever you gave, big or small, so the whole team and panel is really appreciative of it, and hopefully we can drive it on now and even get a couple more euro into the kitty before Saturday. Yeah, great to hear that you've hit the 12k target, Sean. And can you tell our listeners what this money will go towards when, I suppose, collective training and matches start up again? I suppose, look, at the minute we're all just training away ourselves, and that's all we can do. So I suppose we're building the funds just for the general running of the team, really. I suppose everyone knows that these things cost money. So from having physios to train, and having meals and getting pitches and lights, all that kind of stuff, it all adds up. So we kind of set ourselves a target at the start of the year, and try and get as much fundraising done as we can, so that when we can get back out in the field, that we don't have to worry about any of that. Just get the hurleys in the hands and get the runs in. So I suppose it's just to try and give ourselves every chance, and Derek and the lads have brought in a great setup this year, and there's from talking to them and from our initial chats, it's trying to get everything done right and to the highest level that we can. So as I said, that all costs money. So look, these things have to be done, and as I said, we're just delighted with the support we've got, and we really can't thank people enough. I suppose many people, Shona, would have expected at this stage that I suppose physios, food after training would nearly be a given. Like, given that we're in 2021, like, is it still a battle
do you find to get those basic requirements for a camogie team?
Unfortunately, it's just that little bit harder. I suppose, it's something that is, unfortunately, it's part and parcel of it. But look, as I said, we're very lucky. We've always had great support from the people in Waterford, and and right down to local businesses and that, and all sponsorship we get is greatly appreciated. Look, unfortunately, as I said, these things they do cost money, and we do find it a little bit harder to get that, and we just have to kind of I suppose get on with it really, and do what we can to help the cause. And as I said, we're very fortunate that we've had people backing us, not just this year, but over the last number of years. And hopefully, I suppose the more success you have on the field, I think definitely it gets a little bit easier, and definitely the profile of camogie, not just in Waterford but across the country, is growing all the time. And people are sitting down and watching the games and going to the games when we're allowed back. So that'll all help. And I hope in years to come, when I'm out supporting the Waterford senior team, that they don't have to do the likes of this, but it's just part and parcel of it. And I think as the years go on, it is getting a little bit easier. And as I said, there is great support, and we are very, very lucky. And it's just part and parcel of it at the moment from us. And look, hopefully it'll get a little bit easier as the years go on.
You mentioned success on the field there, Shona. Your captain, Niamh Rockett, was on the programme a couple of weeks back, and she didn't hide her ambitions. I suppose she wants to go up to Croke Park and lift the cup and climb those steps of the Hogan stand. Is it the exact same for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, Tomas. I think, to be honest with you, this is a very ambitious panel and county at that matter now. The success that's been there at underage, and there's been great work done over the years. And I think we all really do believe that we can and do compete at the highest level. And look, unfortunately, over the last couple of years, we haven't got past that stumbling block that is the quarterfinals, and that's huge disappointment to every girl that's involved in the panel. As I said, everyone has the same ambitions and same belief, really. I suppose that we are at that level, and on our day, we can compete, with those top teams. And it is disappointing, every year that you're sitting down at home watching a semi-final or a final, in any, no matter what sport you play, at any level, you want to be there in those days. And all we can do is keep working at it and improving every year and bringing new girls into the setup and that. So definitely, we have big ambitions for the year.
And Derek Lyons took over as the new manager in January, Shona, stepping in for Fergal O'Brien. How often are you meeting up as a group at the moment?
Yeah, well, at the moment, unfortunately, with restrictions, there's no collective training. So we've yet to have our first training together, which is very strange, and given the end of February now, we're talking like usually you'd be 3 or 4 months into pre-season and league and that. So look, it's a very unusual start. I suppose no more so for Derek and the lads than ourselves, because we're as players, we're used to each other year in, year out. But for a new setup and new management, it can't be easy. But in fairness, there's been great communication over and back. We're all doing our programs, and we kind of have a weekly catch up together, which is great. Just to check in and see how everyone's getting on and just chat through a few things. So look, that's all we can do for the time being. And it's I suppose there's still uncertainty out there as to when collective training will go back. But for the moment, all we can do is, as individuals, is to plug away and train away. And I suppose, look, we're all hopeful that we'll be back. I suppose Easter is the target that a lot of people are setting, and I suppose we're just hopeful that we will be able to get back out onto a field then, and that's when we do get out there, that every player has to be ready. So that's all we can do really at the minute. Just train away as best we can and keep the faith that we'll be back hurling in the next month or two.
And will management be getting involved in this event on Saturday, Shona?
Yeah, I believe Rick is trying to show us all up and doing a 50k walk himself around his within his 5k. So in fairness, there's, as we said, like there's been a great buy-in by the panel and management and the county board and to be honest, across all age groups, we've got great support. So I believe Derek is he's doing the 50k on Saturday. So he's as well as the rest of the team. So it's been great now, and it's actually been a great focus to have tipping away with the training and I suppose people will have seen it on social media and that, and there's been great interaction with it. So it's been a nice kind of distraction for the last couple of weeks. And
can you give us a sense, Sean, of what sort of individual training you're doing yourself right now?
I suppose it's kind of a bit of a mix, like running and trying to also keep up with the strength and conditioning side is probably the toughest side, because you'd be used to having gym facilities, in and out to the gym, and you have all your weights and that. So I know myself, like I'm trying to do it in the sitting room, which is it's a strange one, but look, that's all you can do at the minute. And it's, to be honest, it's great to have something to be kind of training towards. I know there's a lot of uncertainty at the minute as to when we will be going back, but just to have a kind of a focus and I suppose nearly a pressure that you don't want to be going back on the field in a couple of weeks' time and not being able to do the running that they're promising us. So it is. Look, it's weird and it's hard. There's no doubt about it. Like, it's a lot easier to throw the gear bag in the car and go down training with 30 people and motivate yourself that way, rather than going home after work in the evenings and having to do it yourself. But that's just, everyone's in the same boat, and you just have to plug away with it, really.
Yeah, hopefully, look, you'll be back on the fields and in the gyms, Shona, come early April. It's been a difficult time for everybody, I think. And I suppose just the last thing I wanted to ask you about, Shona, was the Camogie All-Stars that are going to be coming up, a virtual event on the 6th of March. Like, it was great to see on the hurling side 3 Waterford players recognised last weekend. I suppose on the Camogie side we've seen like Beth Carton and Lorraine Bray recognised in the past 2 years. Who do you think will be in contention from a Waterford perspective this time round?
Yeah, it was great to see the 3 lads win, those individual honours. They were well-deserving winners, and I suppose, like, when you're from our own point of view, when we're challenging at kind of quarter-final levels, and I suppose even in the group stages, there was a lot of very good performances. And I think this year, especially because a lot of the games were streamed live, a lot more people kind of saw those group games, which I think sometimes they get forgotten about when it comes to All-Stars, that it really comes down to final, semi-final. But look, you mentioned 2 or 3 names there that are definitely in contention. Lorraine Bray was outstanding there from wing back this year. Niamh Rockes had a great game in the quarter final, and like Beth, I think for Beth can go out and score 110 and people say she'll have a quiet game. She's kind of there's so many expectations on her, but like, to me, she's the best forward in the country. So I think definitely those 3 names will be in around there. Like, we've had some great performances from a lot of individuals across the team throughout the year. I know Iona Heffernan and Siobhan Harney stick out in my mind, and Kate Lynch as well. So look, it's hard to know. There's no I suppose nominations really this year. I'm not really sure how it works, but it'll be all kind of announced on the night, and I expect, like, your finalists in Galway and Kilkenny are probably going to make up the majority of the team, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's 2 or 3 Waterford names definitely on the team, and there'll be more than that even in the mix, I think.
Yep, fingers crossed we'll have a couple of more Waterford names on the list, Shona Curran, Liz Moore and Waterford Camogie midfielder. Thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck with the virtual run to Croker on Saturday.
Thanks, Milchmas.
Now you're hurling. Lorna Porca with Tomás McCarthy on WLR.